I saw this short video on YouTube showing drone pilots what to do when an aircraft approaches your drone.
What to do if an airplane approaches your drone. Emergency kill switch.
This means that when your drone's flight path crosses with the flight path of manned aircraft, what you should do is crash your drone on purpose. Trigger the kill switch. That's what it says. Let your drone drop and fall to the ground. That's easy to say. At least this video was produced in the US, and maybe that's what the FAA recommends. But here in Canada, it's a little different. Hello, Canadian drone pilots, and to everyone else watching right now. What is going on? It's nice to see you again. And if this is your first time here, my name is Roy, and you are watching Creative Aerial Shots. First, let's talk about why the author of the video suggested such a desperate kind of maneuver just to get out of the way of manned aircraft. Where does this way of thinking come from? And of course, we are in Canada, so let's talk about Canadian drone regulations. CARS 901.17 states that a pilot of a remotely piloted aircraft shall give way to power-driven, heavier-than-air aircraft, airships, gliders, and balloons at all times. And I believe this includes paragliders or parasailers, whatever they call them. It's still manned aircraft. CARS 901.18 states that no pilot shall operate a remotely piloted aircraft in such proximity to another aircraft as to create a risk of collision. And CARS 901.16 states that a pilot that operates a remotely piloted aircraft system shall immediately cease operations if aviation safety or the safety of any person is endangered or likely to be endangered. Looking at these rules might get you thinking that hitting the kill switch is the best option. This kill switch we're talking about is officially called a flight termination system, or FTS. And it is a safety feature that can be used to terminate the flight of a drone in case it poses a risk to public safety or if it strays into restricted airspace. FTS can be particularly useful in situations where the drone operator loses control of the drone, or the drone system fails, or if the drone is on a collision course with another aircraft or object. The FTS can be used to shut down the drone's motors, causing it to land or fall to the ground safely. The FTS is an important safety feature aiming to prevent potential accidents and protect people and property from harm. But is it really that simple? Just hit the kill switch? Activating the flight termination system to terminate the drone's flight could potentially pose additional risks. The RPA section of the Aeronautical Information Manual, item 3.2.5, talks about right away. Take a look at this. If a conflict with another aircraft becomes likely, RPA pilots must take immediate action to exit the area by the quickest means possible. This often means rapidly reducing altitude. And take note of this sentence. This often means rapidly reducing altitude. Although there are other possible alternatives, this recommendation focuses on rapidly reducing the altitude of your drone. It does not focus on triggering your FTS or your flight termination system or hitting the kill switch. Why? Because this desperate option could be as dangerous as the situation you're trying to avoid in the first place. In fact, CARS 901.44 states that no pilot of a remotely piloted aircraft equipped with a flight termination system shall activate the system if it will endanger or will likely to endanger aviation safety or the safety of any person. If an aircraft is approaching the flight path of a drone, activating the flight termination system may not be the best option. There could be people or property below where your drone could drop. Stop the motors and your drone will accelerate with gravity. What do you think would happen if it hit something or someone? Instead, it is recommended to descend or lower the altitude of the drone as soon as possible to avoid the other aircraft. If the drone is equipped with an obstacle avoidance system, it may help to activate it to detect and avoid potential obstacles, including other aircraft, as your drone descends. Even if your drone is equipped with a parachute system, it is still recommended to descend your drone rapidly rather than activating the FTS. You should reserve your parachute for an actual motor malfunction. It is important to note that our PAS operators or drone pilots have a responsibility to be aware of their surroundings to avoid potential collisions with other aircraft. This includes being aware of any airspace restrictions, checking for other aircraft in the area, and taking appropriate action to avoid any potential hazard. This means do your CARS 901.27. That is your site survey. Do not rely on the drone's detection system because the aircraft approaching your flight path may not be equipped with a compatible transmitter. So make sure that your crew, your visual observers, are vigilant with your detection and avoid functions. And hey, if you found this content useful, click that like button and let YouTube show it to more people. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and get notified whenever we upload. Thank you for watching and helping this channel grow. I'll see you again next time.